I want to look at the NFC as a whole. Who do you think is the best quarterback in that conference?
For me, it's Dak Prescott. You're looking at a guy who was top 2 when it comes to touchdowns, QBR, quarterback rating, completion percentage, but then 3rd in passing yards. Also, you look at the athleticism, right? And I think last year we started to see a little bit more of that. But Dak Prescott can extend plays, and he can improvise if a play breaks down.
You think Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in not the NFC East, in the NFC?
In the NFC, I do.
Really? And really,
from what you've seen, I have Matthew
are we talking regular season, or are we talking playoffs? Do the playoffs count in this conversation?
I'm just talking period. I think Dak Prescott's number 1.
In the playoffs?
Period.
Quit playing, Molly. As much as you care about your looks, I know you cleaned your ears out before y'all did that segment. You heard what Harry Douglas said, talking about some...
Are you sure? We're not talking about the NFC East.
He said what the hell he said. Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC. Now watch us work. Want to sit here talking about but the playoffs, we're not talking about the regular season, we're talking about the best the best quarterback overall. You know what's funny? You know what's funny about those postseason arguments that y'all be making, man? You know what's hilarious about those arguments? Is the fact that you can go back and actually look, bro. There are guys that have played better than some of the all-time great quarterbacks in the history of the league for their careers in the playoffs that I know dang well the knowledgeable sports fan would not even fix they dang on soup coolers to say is better than the person that they playing better than. Exhibit A, Jared Goff, 88.4 career postseasons rating. He doesn't get talked about as being a bad postseason performer because his entire team wins games. Jalen Hurts, he's been to a Super Bowl, 88.1 career postseason rating. He doesn't get talked about as being a bad playoff performer, but his record is actually 2-3 in the playoffs now. Brock Purdy, 96.2 career postseason playoff rating. That sounds pretty dang on good until you realize he's being asked to do a lot less than some of these other guys on this list. But nonetheless, that sounds pretty dang on good. Brock Purdy would be someone that you could make an argument for as being the best quarterback in the NFC right now. If you're a 49ers fan, you're probably trying to make that argument, but then you have to ask yourself the question. If Brock Purdy wasn't in that Shanahan system and playing with the players he was playing with on that San Francisco 49ers offense, and he didn't look the way that he looked when he lost just a couple of those pieces last season, would he be the same player? Then we get to Exhibit D. Dak Prescott, 91.8 career postseason rating. Molly, the way you were questioning old Harry Douglas there, you think that my man had a career postseason rating like a Rex Grossman, who had a 67.3 career playoff rating, but y'all would probably say he was a decent quarterback in the playoffs since he brought his team to a Super Bowl, right? What about Exhibit F? Joe Flacco, career 87.9 playoff rating. He's actually won a Super Bowl. But Dak is playing better than him in the playoffs, even with that stinker from 2021. I'll give haters that one. But even with that terrible season in which he finished with just 69.3 rating, which is probably the only real game that haters could make a case for him being one of the main reasons we lost that game. But even with that, still a better playoff performer than a Super Bowl champion. What about another Super Bowl champion? Eli Manning, two-time Super Bowl champion, by the way. 87.4 career playoff rating, and this man has a positive win-loss record in the playoffs, but yeah, he's playing worse than Dak Prescott in the playoffs. Damn, that's kind of interesting, ain't it? Peyton Manning, another two-time Super Bowl champion. Oh look, passer rating of 87.4 in the playoffs. Very interesting, also less than that of Rayne Dakota. You know what's super, super interesting, though? Marcus Mariota, 94.1 career playoff rating. Now, would any of you guys dare fix your mouths to say that Marcus Mariota is better than Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, or any of those other guys that he ranked higher than, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff. Would y'all say that he's better than them based off of his playoff performances? Oh, here's the icing on the cake, though. Tom Brady, 89.8 career playoff rating. You know what this list tells me? Is that, for one, using the playoffs as an indicator of how good or bad a player actually is isn't really reliable and honestly isn't a solid science at all. This also tells me that the playoffs are hard because those are the best teams in the league usually playing a higher level of defense. And what this tells me is playoffs are not a reliable tool to actually evaluate player talent and player ability. It's not. You know why? Because teams need more than just one player to win in the playoffs. They need a complete team effort. The playoffs are not an exact science. You can't use that as an indicator to tell you who's the best, bro. You know what you do use? You use total body of work and actually looking on film with your eyes, being able to actually evaluate player talent, evaluate player ability, productivity, efficiency, effectiveness. That's what it takes to actually be qualified to be able to talk about who's the best. I'm not sure exactly why you were trying so hard to get him to kind of rebuff on his stance that Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC, because guess what? He is! And the only other guys that you can really make arguments for is a Brock Purdy right now. Jordan Love had 6 good games. He's not even in that conversation for me. He shouldn't be in that conversation for intelligent football fans until he has a full season under his belt where he's playing at a high level, bro, with coaches have tape on him. When teams know how the Packers actually gonna use this man. What kind of casual crap you guys got going on where you don't understand that the first year of a quarterback and how they play, you really can't use that as an indicator for how good they gonna be in the league, bro. You can't, bro. Coaches don't have film. They haven't had a full summer to actually digest and look at your tape and figure out what you do, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. There have been plenty of guys throughout history that have gotten hot for a small period of time. Joe Flacco, we had just looked at his playoff stats. Joe Flacco, he's a Super Bowl champion. He got hot at the right time for a small period of time in his career, and that elevated him to a different status because Joe Flacco was the epitome of a dude that was waiting for someone else to come take his job if Baltimore was ever able to get another quarterback in there, bro. So, Molly, take your other goop, a hoop, a what, a hoop, and shut your ass up and watch that work.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still in ball? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still in boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still in boys.